we got some sad news. Doesn't look like Nasdaq is going to proceed with its cryptocurrency exchange, according to new information from their quarterly update to investors. It's according to CEO Adena Friedman in an earnings call. They are going to continue working on some sort of custodial solution, but due to the regulatory environment at the moment, they're not interested in trading your digital assets quite yet. We've seen a few different larger companies about face at the moment, while we've seen other companies surge forward within the crypto markets. So kind of like a back and forth here. Wendy, I want to throw it over to you. I saw this news and was a little sad, maybe a little bearish, but at the end of the day, I think there's more companies that are coming out for crypto right now than there are those against it.
So my personal take on this is a massive giant in the traditional financial industry. So this makes sense that they're going to kind of submit to the uncertainty of regulatory clarity, because if they were to actively get into the crypto industry or Bitcoin industry without the spot Bitcoin ETFs being approved or without any type of regulatory guidelines, it could cause a lot of issues for them in the long term. This makes sense. This is totally on brand. Again, I think once we get super bullish and we actually get in the bull market and we start getting somewhere with regulation and guidelines, or we get the spot Bitcoin ETFs approved, or again, more rulings from judges, then we will see these big players come into the market. So this makes sense for me. It's on brand. And again, it's very unfortunate because there could be a lot more money flooding into these entities via taxpayer dollars or however that works. But again, we are foiled by the public servants and their lack to do any type or to give us any type of legal clarity. Shout out to Gigi.
Let me clarify myself really quickly here, because we got some technical terms in this topic that we should probably go over. The first thing is the custodian solution that they're working on is the thing that they're going to stop, but they're still working on the technology behind that. So it's not necessarily a trading firm that they're halting operations on, but the custodial part of this. But the technology apparently is still in development. So that's swinging. Jen?
Wait, hold on really quick. But if the technology is still being worked on, but they can't use the technology for what they're making it for, to me, it's like,
welcome to
I think they're just waiting, Wendy. I think that right now is not the time for Nasdaq to be getting into this, right? Like you said, they're a huge financial firm. I don't think that it's their fight to fight. I don't think that this is a sad thing. I think that it's totally expected. They said they're pausing to get the correct licensing. So I think they're just waiting to see what's happening. They haven't stopped everything they're doing with digital assets, like you said, Will. And I don't know if you remember, but when they launched this last year, they had hired a fellow to lead the program. I forget his name, but he's from Gemini. He's a VP there. He's still leading digital assets. He still has a job. And I think that they are just quietly watching what's going on, working with regulators. Of course, I think, I don't know, that they must have longstanding relationships with regulators who they work with, who have probably advised them to just pause on this offering until there's some more clarity. Zach?
They're in it for the tech. Like Will said, they're in it for the tech, Wendy. They are in it for the tech. They don't need to be trading these coins. They just want to build the technology. That's what it's all about here. I think the thing this all boils down to is there's just so much uncertainty, right? You had this whole brouhaha happen when Prometheum came out and said, hey, we got this special purpose broker-dealer license that allows us to sell digital asset securities. It means they can't touch Bitcoin and likely not Ether. So there's still a lot of uncertainty as to what particular licenses will fit the bill for any of these TradFi shops looking to set up crypto trading operations, right? So I think the question to me is, when are they going to be able to figure it out, right? Are they going to wait for legislation to pass? Are they going to wait for some more clarity through the courts? I don't know. I think that to me makes it seem like this is probably going to be a longer pause than they might be initially acknowledging, at least at first. Because really the question is, when clarity? And I think that's the question that's been going on for years now. And it doesn't necessarily look like, unless, legislation gets fast-tracked through Congress, it doesn't necessarily look like we're going to have an answer to when clarity anytime soon. So that, I think, is maybe perhaps a telling example of the uncertainty that a lot of firms in the space are operating in, especially in the U.S. context. So to me, yeah, we'll see if they ever get around to it, but I kind of doubt it, because it's probably going to be a while until they can figure out which exact licenses they even need to be above board in the eyes of SEC Chair Gary Gensler. I don't know.